I think poverty. You know poverty.
That's why you have so many jokes.
Poverty makes you funny, cause now psychologically, you're trying to what is it? To compensate for the lack of joy in your life. You know, the joy that a car would give you, the joy that Netflix would give you, those joys of life that you get when you're rich. Since you don't have them, so you have to create the joy by yourself. So that's where the comedy comes from. Jagala nkole joke nga Alan, when you listen to the joke, you're like, man, I've also been in that situation. That is one of the best compliments I can get. You are not funny today, but you tell me, man, everything you talked about, I felt it. That is more important to me. That journey is a journey of 6 hours. But for 6 hours, we're watching comedy. I don't know which bus driver that is. But I had to comedy for 6 hours from Lira to Kampala. And it was one of the most convincing experiences for me. Because after watching it, I said, the way these people have made everyone in the bus happy for 6 hours, I've never seen that in my life.
Kankwanjulire, the Ocean of Knowledge School erisangibwe Kasangati. Lino ly'essomero wogenda okutwala omwana wo oleme kuba na kweraliikirira kwonna ku ngeri gy'anaalabirirwamu awamu n'okuteekebwateekebwa. Tuwandiisa abaana okuviira ddala ku ddekeya ne kindergarten, ekifo kyaffe kya mulembe awali n'ebibiina ebigazi obulungi. Kino nga kiyamba omwana okuzimba endowooza ye. Abasomesa baffe bafaayo era batendeke mu kulabirira abaana n'okubateekateeka. Ekifo abaana we bazannyira ekiyonjo ekibayamba okusitula obusobozi bwabwe. Songeera abaana baffe tubasomesa ebintu eby'enjawulo okuli music, okuwuga, fashion and design, ebyokufumba keeki n'emigaati, saako n'ebya tekinologiya. Entambula weeri ku ssomero okutambuza abayizi abo abava ewala era tuteeka nnyesira ku ndiisa yaabwe. Tulina ne saluni y'enviiri ku ssomero wennyini. N'olwekyo omuzadde totunula walala, leeta omwana wo atwegatteko olwaleero. The Ocean of Knowledge School tusangibwa Kasangati Bulamu. Okumanya ebisingawo kuba ku nooti 7 nooti 6 5 nooti 1 nooti 32 ne nooti 7 6 3 273 837.
And of course, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. CRUZ Exclusive, unleashing dreams to reality. Of course, today on the show, I'm hosting one of the best comedians right now in Africa, and he's seated near me. So we are going to have a very good conversation. Tugenda kunyumyamuko emboze genda kuba mpanvu nnyo. So we shall be balancing in. Yeah, you get. Some of you have watched his comedy and you're like, where is he from? Some are saying, is he Kenyan? Others are saying, is he Ugandan? Others are saying, is he Nigerian? Others are saying, is he Ghanaian? So many things, and so many things we're going to ask him today, and those are the things we need to know about him today. He has organized a few shows. Of course, they have been successful. But of course, believe me, he has worked hard for his career. And here he is on the show. I'm blessed to have him. And I'm sure you're also blessed to have a story or to hear a story from him. Because when it comes to talent, comedy, believe me, people work so hard. We work so hard to be where we are. On the show today, allow me to introduce to you Dr. Hilary for the first time on CRUZ Exclusive. Thank you.
For the first time, chitegeza tukomao. Papa, I'm very happy to be here, man. Yeah, good to see you. I like what you're doing. I like how you're pushing. You know, as fellow creatives, every time you see somebody who is pushing themselves, obo yagala nawe, you need to be next to them because it's the kind of energy you want. So when I know if I collaborate with you, yeah. And I think that's where, as creatives in Uganda, we should get to, where you don't fight each other, instead you work with each other. So thank you so much.
I'm really humbled. I'm happy that you allowed my invitation. You accepted it, and you said, okay, Alan, let me come and we have our show, because it's not easy. Yeah. So, for starters, say hello to my viewers. For those that don't really know you, for those that have already watched your comedy on internet, I've seen so many clips of you trending on TikTok.
Yeah.
There's one TikToker called Dala Media.
Yeah.
Dala Media loves your content. Yeah. He's always posting you. I'm always asking him, do you know Hilary?
As a person?
No, I just enjoy his content.
Yeah.
Have you ever talked to him? Dala Media?
No, not yet. I think maybe on the DM. for me, I have this thing where I appreciate everyone who shares my work. I have people actually reach out to me and say, Hilary, there's somebody who has posted your video. You go and report him. What? And for me, in my mind, I'm thinking we are both benefiting from that. You know, the idea of social media is it's a media platform where you can use it to push your brand. So, Alan, we will take our video young. Yeah. You get a clip and you put it on your page. I put it on my page. Let's say on my page I get 500,000 views. Katiweko page you get 2 million views. At the end of the day, it means I've been seen by 2.5. So me, I appreciate everyone. I think Dala Media, there are other
creative. There's someone called creative something.
Creative. Is it what creative what?
Yes.
He's a very good guy as well. I think I also inboxed him on TikTok.
So you always inbox them and say thank you?
Once in a while. Yeah, once in a while. Because sometimes they'll mention you, so I'll go and I'll respond.
Okay.
Yeah. So I always say thank you to them.
Who is Hilary Okello? No, sorry. Who is Dr. Hilary? I always love Okello.
Okello is my guy.
Yeah. Who is Dr. Hilary?
Dr. Hilary Okello, stand-up comedian, Ugandan. These days I'm into film as well. But of course I went to medical school. I did clinical medicine.
You did sciences?
I did sciences. So I did clinical medicine. I practiced medicine for 4 years. Then I decided now to entirely focus on comedy. So that's where I add the doctor title. It's because of my medical affiliation.
Now that's interesting. That's interesting because it it sounds a little bit funny and amazing at the same time.
Yeah.
But here the question comes: being successful in comedy.
Yeah.
And someone knowing you're a medical doctor, how do you drop medicine, then come into comedy?
Because now, for me, comedy has always been something I've wanted to do ever since high school. Because comedy at the time when I was in school, you'd watch it on TV, you know, Mic Check, Fun Factory, all these shows. And I was intrigued by it, so I always wanted to research about comedy. Every time there's a comedy show on TV, I would be the one to turn on the TV and watch the show. So my parents also knew I liked comedy. But at the time, I was still, you know, as you're growing up, the number one thing they'll tell you is you finish your education and then all of that. So in my mind, I thought, let me first finish education. When I feel I'm at a certain level, then I can proceed to do comedy. But now, when I reached university, is when I actually started getting into comedy clubs.
Which university?
I was at Clark International University. It's in I think Bukasa Muyenga. So I did clinical medicine, but while I was at campus, I would go to these comedy shows and meet people. So then, when industry so you start going for shows, you start performing every once in a while, and then your brand starts growing. So at the time when my brand now started sort of taking an exponential growth, I was working in certain medical centers and clinics. At the time, I had one I think in Chireka, another one in Kasangati. So you realize, financially speaking, the comedy is paying you better. Because what they would pay you, let us say at the end of the month, at your formal job, is what you get in one night at a comedy club. You see what I mean? So Katiwali, let's say they're giving you 500K at the end of the month, but here you're getting 500K for a 5-minute performance. So you sit down.
A medical doctor?
No, I'm a clinician.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
So what they would call those who did medicine and surgery. Me, I did clinical medicine. So it's a lower rank to medicine and surgery. So for me, the money you'd make there, because you'd make, let's say, 700, 800, you know. But if you go up country and you do a show, you're getting 1.5. And that's one show. So you sit down and think, if I just double down on this, if I put all my effort and energy in this, because it's also something you love. It's not like you're doing something you don't like. Then it makes more sense. Yeah. So that's when I said, you know what, let me first focus on this.
So you decided to drop the clinical.
Yeah, the clinical life entirely.
And then you were like, you know what?
Let me focus on this. Yeah.
Wow.
And also you see, entertainment is very funny when when you start growing your brand and then you pause, that's a problem. So you'd rather keep so you can't start rising and then you say, let me first, it will affect your time. So if your time is coming, then you better hold on to it.
Who inspired you? Who are some of those few comedians you first watched and you're like, you know, Hilary, I think I can do this?
It's a number of people. I think it's a collection of people. I'll give you something. The first time, I think the first point of inspiration was when we were traveling from up country with my mother and we were in a bus from Lira coming to Kampala. I think it was
you come from Lira?
I come from Lira. So during holidays, we were traveling from Lira, coming to Kampala, and we were in a bus. And in the bus, I think I was was it senior one or what? I was still very young. So in the bus, they were playing Night of 1,000 Laughs. I don't know if you've watched it. It's a comedy show on YouTube where some of the best African comedians were in Nairobi, Kenya for a show. So there's Pablo, there's Clint the Drunk, I think there's also Basket Mouth. It's like all the cream de la cream. So we watch, that journey is a journey of 6 hours. But for 6 hours we're watching comedy. I don't know which bus driver that is, but I had to comedy for 6 hours from Lira to Kampala. And it was one of the most convincing experiences for me. Because after watching it, I said, the way these people have made everyone in the bus happy for 6 hours, I've never seen that in my life. It was my first time watching stand-up. So I was amazed, and I said, when I go back home, I want to research about this. So I would go to school.
Did you tell your mother?
Hey, my mother was laughing.
No, did you tell her your dream?
No, at that time, no. So then I started researching about stand-up. You go to the computer lab, you type stand-up comedian, you start reading about the Steve Wrights, all those comedians, Russell Peters, that Canadian guy. So you start watching comedy clips here and there. Then also at home, you're watching Mike Check, you're watching Fun Factory, you're watching all these shows on TV. Then that's when I said, you know what, I like what these guys do. I want to see if I can, how to be better. How to start. So being in school, of course, the only audience you have are students. So I decided, let me partake in school activities so that I use the students as my audience. Aonga ku functions on now, whether it is elections at school, you perform in front of students. Whether it is sports day, you perform in front of students. Whether it is assembly, I joined like the news team on assembly. So they would read news and then me would come and do jokes for like 6 minutes. So that's how I started. But the inspiration came from watching clips on the bus. And what I just found interesting recently is how, they say life comes full circle. Is now of recent, I have people who send me videos. Friends of mine who send me videos, they're like, man, we're traveling up country, they're playing your video. So you come to think of it, of how life is such an interesting thing. Because when you are starting out, you got the inspiration in the bus. But then years later, now people are also watching you in the same bus. Yeah. So
for how long can you perform on stage?
How long?
For how long?
I think it depends on many things. One, I think the longest I've performed, first of all, on stage is 1 hour, 45 minutes.
Wow.
It was my very first comedy special in National Theatre. It was called Laugh at My People. It's 1 hour, 45 minutes, the whole show. But I don't recommend that because it's not good for the audience. People have a comedy show, a standard comedy show, stand-up, I don't think it should be more than 3 hours. 2.5. Because it affects the last performer. Because stand-up takes emotion, it takes concentration, people stop listening. So I can go for I can even go for 2 hours because I have the content that can go that long. But it's not good for the audience because people get exhausted. Yeah.
Wow. People have always asked me why Salvador comes from Lira also?
Salvador, I think you hosted him sometime. From what I understand, I think it's from Koboko. It's from West Nile.
Yes, West Nile.
And then a part of Congo as well. Yeah.
So people have always asked me, in Uganda, people say, Racha Bantu Bengulu is so funny. They have funny stories. Others say, from the northern part of Uganda, is so funny.
Yeah.
Have you got such questions?
I've not gotten such questions, but I've heard of those conversations. And I think poverty. You know poverty.
That's why you have so many jokes.
Poverty makes you funny, cause now psychologically you're trying to compensate for the lack of joy in your life. You know, the joy that a car would give you, the joy that Netflix would give you, those joys of life that you get when you're rich. Since you don't have them, so you have to create the joy by yourself. So that's where the comedy comes from. That's why Alan, by the way, when you're here in Kampala and you're chatting with friends, they might not be as funny. And you meet your homeboys in the village. They have the funniest stories. Because they create the happiness for themselves. You use what you have to be funny.
Onoonye ekifo eky'omulembe w'oyinza okuwummulirako ate nga kisangibwa ku lubalama lw'ennyanja Winslow Luxury Suites. Kino kye kifo ekikkakkamu eri gwe anoonya w'oyinza okubeerako okumala ennaku entonotono oba ekiseera ekigere ng'olinga ali ewuwo. Kino kye kifo kyokka. Tulina amayumba agalina accommodation ey'omulembe nga mulimu ebisenge ebiwerera ddala 2, sitting room, modern kitchen, dining, closet engazi obulungi, ssaako toilet n'ebinaabiro. Ebisenge byaffe birabika bulungi nnyo omuli ebitanda ebya queen ne king size. Ekiseera kyonna ky'omala ng'oli naffe tufuba okulaba nga tufuna kutaataganyizibwa kwonna, anti tulina standby generator, wifi ne DSTV ssaako ne laundry services. Tulina n'emmotoka ez'omulembe okwanguyizaako mu by'entambula era nga tusobola okupikinga okuva wonna w'oli ne ku kisaawe erimu abava ebweru wa Uganda. Winslow Luxury Suite tusangibwa mu Jomai Estate, Garuga, Entebbe. N'olwekyo gwe yandyagadde okumanya ebisingawo n'okubuukinga osobola tukubira ku noti 752 emu noti 8 nyemu oba osindika obubaka obwa WhatsApp ku +9 noti 83 2 noti 3 6 noti 2.
Yes, Mr. Modern. How is the business?
Booming. Towakan, eka nkunyonyole. Ebiseera biri. Nga ba customer babula okundi ebipipipi.
Bitera byamwe bino byasiimuse.
Naye lwaki tiles zammwe temuzipima?
Tutera muzigula mu bikuta by'amagi.
Naye we nazula Modern Tiles, business etambula.
Onoonya tiles ez'omutindo nga mpangazi ezitasiiwuuka nga ne design yazo ya njawulo nnyo. Funa Modern Tiles.
Modern Tiles.
Dr. Hilary, sketch for us a picture or an image or a story life. How Dr. Hilary has grown, how you've been raised, which type of family do you come from? Do you come from a rich family? How have you survived? How have you reached where we're seeing you right now? But for starters, we need to know the type of family Dr. Hilary comes from.
I come from a nuclear family, a small family. Thanks to God, my parents are still alive. My father is a driver. He works at UBC, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, and he has worked there for almost all his life. So growing up, I grew up mostly in Nakasero. Nakasero, UBC used to have staff quarters there. So I grew up mostly there, which was weird because when you tell people you grew up in Nakasero, they're like,
son of the rich,
yet we are the poor ones among the rich. So we used to stay there. Actually, it's the current, what's that place called? Pearl of Africa Hotel. So before they built that hotel, we were staying there. So there were staff quarters in that area. Then one day they chased us away. We didn't know it is a hotel which was coming. So most of my life as a child, I grew up there. But I was born in Lira. When I was still very young, I grew up in Lira. Then we moved to Nakasero. Stayed in Nakasero for a while. Then there's a time we stayed in Bunga for a while, then even Bukasa for a while. When you're in these families, your father is always looking for new places to go, depending on cost of living. Then my mother is a teacher. She's a primary teacher in Lira. So I also stayed in Lira many times, because she's mostly based in Lira. So I have 2 brothers and 1 sister.
So it's been a tough life.
It's been a tough life.
So as you're growing up, what did you look at? Like, what did you want to become? What was your dream by that time?
For me, I think growing up as a child, You know this. I don't believe in people who say when I was young I knew I wanted to be an engineer. I don't think your brain has the capability to know what engineers do when you're 2 years old. Katingagwe Alan, when we're in school, when the teacher would ask everyone to mention what they want to be, I'm sure you said footballer.
I said lawyer.
Lawyer.
I already said lawyer.
Yeah, what happened?
But I ended up here.
You ended up here. But at the end of the day, this is part of the law.
Yeah.
So I think for me growing up, I wasn't very concerned about what I wanted to be. I was more concerned about enjoying life at every level. So whether I was in school, I was just a happy kid. It's until when I got into secondary school, because that's when your parents now start instilling the idea of what career you should take. So they start telling you, medicine is a good venture that you should partake. Probably you can also go into law or go into teaching or whatever.
So you got bursaries because of your performance?
No, I was not very. I was what you'd call you know those people who challenge but never win. You are never number one, but you were Satu Nyatano. I would qualify for Champions League, but I would never win the trophy. So I was that kind of person, and I didn't believe in being number one. Although my parents always wanted you make sure you are the best, be the best. For me, I would feel like if I'm number 3, it's not even a problem. It's still I'm better than 70 people. I'm better than very many people. So for me, I never really minded about, but my parents wanted me to do that. That's why they love my sister, because my sister she's always number one in school. So it's until secondary school that's when I made up my mind. I said I want to do medicine, and the only reason I wanted to do medicine is I just found medicine it was like a secret, like a secret club where only few people know what's happening there. The knowledge of medicine, I found it very interesting. You go to the hospital and you tell the doctor, I don't know what's wrong with my eyes are yellow, and then he says the problem is your liver. And then it's interesting because how do you see my eyes and you know the problem is in my liver? So that kind of knowledge is what I wanted to understand. So that's what took me to medicine, just to understand that. Either when I understood it.
Did you for the first time, didn't your dad get pissed when you told him you're putting medicine aside and you're going for comedy? How did he receive the message?
I don't think my parents were pissed, because at least they have never told me they were pissed. However, I would also say they saw it coming, because I think I asked them more than 3 times that I want to join comedy. More than 3 times. In my senior 4 vacation, I told them I want to join comedy. But then they, of course, encouraged me to continue with school. And me, I had no problem going back to school. So I went back to school. I did my A-level. After my A-level, again, I told them I want to join comedy. Then they again convinced me to continue with school. And me, I'm okay. I went to campus. Now it is at campus where, with university, you have more freedom. So it's in university, you would go to campus, you finish your classes, then you go for a comedy show. So slowly by slowly, they started seeing that this guy will end up in comedy.
Who gave you your first stage in stand-up comedy?
My very first stage, let me see, a few people. Anne Kansime is one of them.
Anne Kansime gave you? Anne
Kansime, not my first stage, but one of my first stages, if I can remember well, because I started comedy in 2017, like officially. So 2017, there was an open mic show in Naria. Just before you reach Quality Supermarket, there was a bar there called Kubi's. It was owned by Anne Kansime. So it was an open mic. You were not paid for that show. You just go and perform. It was every last Monday of the month. So that's one show that I started with, to start performing.
So you used to go there every Monday?
So every last Monday of the month, I would go there with friends. Yeah, I would perform there. And you'd meet people there. It's the first place where I met Salvador, Omara, because they'd also come for the show. Anne would also be there every once in a while. So it was a nice place. Another person who gave me one of my first stages was Pablo at National Theatre. He used to have a show, and I'm sure it's back again. Pablo Live. I performed there.
Hey, it's back.
It's back again. It's every last Friday, I think.
Of the month.
So I also did that one. Then there are a couple of poetry shows, because I used to have a lot of friends who do poetry. And poetry is also a listening art. So ogenda you know saba ne bakuteekako and you perform.
Is it easy? Because if we are to talk about the brand Dr. Hilary, many of the Ugandans have enjoyed you between last year, ending
I think maybe 2023 now.
Yes,
that's when my clip started moving. Yeah.
How hard is it to penetrate through this industry?
It's very hard. One, it is very saturated. Abantu banji. Because the challenge is we have put comedy, we have put everyone who makes jokes or skits into one bracket of comedy. So munimu ba skit maker ba TikTok, you know, people who do funny things on X, you also put them as comedians. Like, it's just a gathering of everyone. So the challenge with that is there's a lot of saturation of content. Kati, for you to stand out, you have to be unique, you have to be different, but also you have to have quality. Kati vindi baby start. It's very hard. Because you'll see a lot of people make skits on TikTok, but it's like they are shoulder to shoulder. No one is really above. But you have to be unique. You see, like what Sabinos does. Ataya, first of all, is unique. He's not like the others. So simple things like that make you stand out. So for me, I also made it a point. I said, if I'm going to do stand-up, I want to be unique. So you pick out the attributes that you want people to know you for. Into omuntu wayogera ku Dr. Hilary, what do they think about as a brand? When somebody mentions, when you mention Salvador, what do you think about? When you mention Margaret and Chico, what do you think about? So that's branding. So the nensala which soka clean comedy. I said I'm going to write jokes that are clean. Number 2, I said I'll do predominantly English. Sometimes you'll hear Uganda every now and then, but predominantly English. Yeah. Then the third thing that I find very important for me is relatable content. Jagala nkole joke nga Alan, when you listen to the joke, you are like, man, I've also been in that situation. That is one of the best compliments I can get. You are not funny today, but you tell me, man, everything you talked about, I felt it. That is more important to me. Then another thing that these days I've started adding in my comedy is social commentary.
Things that are happening.
Things that are happening that have a political touch to it. They have a social touch to it. So you'll do jokes about traffic jam, about jam Museveni is passing by, but you'll find a way to do it where you're not attacking anyone, but you're just telling people what's happening. You'll do a joke about ministers who overtake us in jam. You'll do a joke about journalists being beaten in Uganda. So all these jokes you're doing now, like the joke I did of EPS, the electronic penalty system, of when people were complaining about the prices and what. So that's something you sit down and say, what can I write about this?
How was it?
It's a joke about how, because those of you know, there was this new camera system in Kampala where if you're around the whole,
if you're
driving above the speed limit, they capture your details and then they send you a fine. So people were complaining for I think it was there for 3 days only. But in those 3 days, people had collected fines. I know a friend who collected fines of 5 million just driving on the expressway. So for me, my idea of that joke was, if you go and watch it on YouTube, it's about how my concern was the people who will be making the phone calls to follow up. Into Alan, we have your list. So at the Ministry of Works, we call you and say, Alan, you have not paid your money, blah, blah, blah. So my idea for that joke was, imagine if the person who calls the president of Uganda. So that was the idea of the joke. But you do it in a way that you are not attacking anyone. You have not insulted anyone, but you've just found a funny angle to the whole situation. So that's how you stand out.
Is it easy to give yourself time and be like, now I've started doing stand-up comedy, but by the end of this year, I have to be here. You can you?
It's important. How best do you measure success if it is not based on goals? Because and goals are mentioned based on time. If if you set up a goal, no government good no work. You see, last year I didn't have any big show in Kampala. So I sat down and planned for this year. And I said, this year, I'm going to do 3 shows in Kampala. And I called the shows Uganda Must Laugh. So I did the first one in March.
It was successful.
It was successful. I did the second one in June. And now the third one, we are doing La Bonita on 7th November. So, how do you measure success? Is you set goals and you chase them. Then every year, now for the last 2 years, I set a goal of I want to perform outside Uganda at least 4 times. Not just visiting, but again and all performance. Yes. So you set that. No mania until last year, because last year I did what? Last year I did Zambia, I did Juba, I did Nairobi.
Hey, you also did Zambia.
Kigali. Yeah. Even this year I've already done Zambia. So now like this year, I set a goal of 4 countries, including Nigeria and South Africa. This is what I want to do this year, and you have to do it no matter what. Because if you set a goal of achieving 20, even if you achieve 15, it's better than someone who didn't set a goal. Because then you can measure yourself. Because even you, I'm sure you set goals no matter until this month I want to do this kind of interviews. So if you set a target of 10 interviews, it is better than someone who hasn't set. Because someone who hasn't set will do 2 and say, but you set 10. If you achieve 9, it is a good achievement based on your goal.
How do you get international shows for those young comedians that are always doing English content, English comedy content? I know many of them ask themselves, how do I get international gigs? How do I get contacts? How do they contact those Hilarys? How do they contact those Salvadors? How do you market yourself? Which type of content pushes you to that level?
I think one very important thing is before you approach anyone, you should know that the person you're approaching wants value. So because at the end of the day, the world is about selling and buying. Everyone is getting from someone. So one thing, you have to build value on your side. Value in what sense? In terms of content. First of all, have good content. Yeah, even if you don't have many followers, have good content. Have an active social media presence. Into omuntu agenda ku X na kusanga. Agenda ku Instagram, he finds you there, and he finds you go on someone's page and you know this is a comedian because you see the content there. In terms of branding and appearance, you know, when somebody watches your joke, they say, okay, I like the kind of comedy this guy does. I think we can work with him. So that even by the time you approach someone, Alan, by the time you inbox someone and say, yo, man, I want to come and do a show in South Africa. What's the plan? The first thing someone does, and I'm sure you do this, when someone inboxes, the first thing you do is go to the profile. No, then when you see the profile, you realize, okay, this is a serious person. Because me, if you go on my profile, the first thing you'll see is Dr. Hilary Okello, African comedian and host. My website is hilaryokello.com. You can check me out for okay, this is someone who knows what they are doing. And then sometimes it's important to go out of your way and invest in yourself. And it's what I saw you doing. It's what you do. Me, there are places I've traveled to with my own funding.
Really?
No tekamusente. No gamba. Like the first did in Nairobi was the Nairobi. It was the Laugh Festival. Churchill.
Churchill.
Laugh Festival. They have that on. They have never uploaded it on YouTube. Laugh Festival Churchill 2022. I called Salvador because I saw he was on the lineup. So nemukubira simu nemugamba, bro. I see you're going for this show. I've never done that show. I'd like to
Kenya.
come on it. In Kenya, yes. He said, don't worry. That's something I can work on. Let me call Churchill and then we talk. So he calls the guy and then they discuss and he says, you know what? I have my boy who wants to come through to cause a tutia. So the feedback I got is they will take care of you. They will pay for everything except transport. The transport, the truth is they don't have the budget for that. Then I said, it is okay. I looked for my man, I booked for my flight. I booked my flight. I went booked Uganda Airlines to Nairobi. and then you go
They
and do
picked
it.
you up from the airport.
Yeah, they picked me up from the airport, took me to the hotel. I stayed with everyone. But you'll find it is you who are to take the step one to ask about an opportunity. Ochiraba. Teri akubide simu. Gwa akubye simu n'ogamba would like to do this. Then it is you who looks for your money to book your own flight to go for that show. But at that show, who are you meeting? At that show, you're with Deliso Chaponda, you're with Loiso Gola, you're with Q Dube, you're with people who have traveled the world doing stand-up comedy. So the value you get from that space is worthy of what you've put in. Because the friends now the friends you meet there, the people you meet there, are also people who put you in other spaces. Because there are people who mention your name around. Kuba gena kudayo South Africa mabubuze, man, we have this thing we want to do. Who do you think we can call from East Africa? And there's a guy I was with, Okello, is very good. So that is what you do.
But Hilary, I've seen young talents say, no, you can't do that. You're putting yourself low. You're going low. Just do your thing. Time will come for you. You don't have to call people asking them for platforms, for international platforms. And then when someone hears you saying, you call if you need a platform, then you tell someone, you know what, Eric Omondi, I've seen you have a show in Kenya. Can I please be part of it?
Can I jump on?
Someone says, no, I can't do that.
I think you do it for many things. One, like I said, for the experience. For the experience, for also to be able to collaborate with the people.
Wano ku Hasi Beauty Parlor tuli bakafulumu kulabirira n'okuyoyota ensusu. Tukola facial ne tukupepeta ka face ne kawawera nga aka baby. Tusiba n'okola enviiri mu buli musono, songa mu kukola pedicure ne manicure tuwe kansa. Tusala enviiri mu buli musono. Ate bwe kituuka mu kukola makeup tetumanyiyo mulala. Tuli muyenga ku Tank Hill Road okulira na Italian supermarket mu basement. Essimu tuli ku noti 726 682 953. Teweerabira saluni egenda okujjayo bulungi bwo n'ekitiibwa kyo ye Hasi Beauty Parlor, a world of beauty.
Esimu kasiakano kankwanjulye mami gadgetsi abakola emiramu education gadgetsi zonna mu Uganda balina tablets z'abaana zonna mu bikanga Samsung, Apple, Origimo ate nga balina n'esina keyboard. Balina ebimotoka by'abaana, ebimundu, essaawa, bags z'abaana, bottles, container ng'ogasseko ne building blocks. Balina headsets z'abaana, balina smart watch zonna ate nga ziri origino, balina wireless charger ate nga basisinkanibwa wali ku Pioneer Mall edduka li PA11 ate ng'osobola bakubira ku 0703 69 69 04. Gambye ekikwasagana education gadgets zonna oyina kwekwata mami gadgets kubanga yasinga.
You know there's a quote that says, in order to achieve something you have to lose something. If you want to achieve something you have to lose something. It's almost like that physics thing of for every action there's an opposite and equal reaction. For every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. If you look at where you want to be, for people that come to my shows, to attend my shows, the first thing they did is watch you for free. Before somebody pays for a ticket to watch you, they watched you for free. Kwa content omutade ku TikTok, omutade buli wamu, so somebody gets a free aspect of your art. By the time you tell them I have a show, a ticket is this amount, they say, tugende tumulabe. Ngabana basajja, have you seen these people who sell G-nuts or whatever on the road? So you first test. Jaribu. So after testing is when they are able to buy. So it is what you do. If you want to push yourself beyond, you have to first create something. You have to lose something in order to be something else. Yeah.
Talking about more about the international shows. You're raised in Uganda. You've been in Uganda. You've studied in Uganda. All the jokes you've been doing in Uganda, they're about Ugandans, they're about Uganda, and then you get an international gig of, let me say, Nairobi, Kenya. Yeah, our brothers. You've never traveled to Nairobi.
And it's your first time.
And it's your first time. Which type of content do you give them? Do you give them the home content in Uganda? And because I'm always asking myself, in case I'm...
How do you adjust?
Yes, in case I'm called for an international gig. Like, which type of... How do I give them something that... Because I'm not going to judge them about Uganda. Some will laugh, some will be like, Why is Uganda?
What are you talking about?
What are you talking
Yeah.
about? Some will be like, we are bored. He's telling about,
Yeah,
he's talking about his homeland. All the
Yeah,
jokes are about Uganda.
Mm-mm.
But I've watched your shows and you've been, is it balancing?
Mm-mm.
And I'm like, how do you do it?
Because now, as a stand-up comedian, every audience is different. Every audience, even within Uganda, the jokes you do in Kampala, when you go to Gulu, you have to adjust them. When you go to Arua, you have to adjust them. When you go to Moroto, you have to adjust them. When you're in Jinja, you have to change it in a way. So the most important thing is to understand that the audience is different. The moment you know you're going to, let's say, Zambia, you know, because I've been to Zambia many times, a very beautiful place. When you go there, you get in touch with the people, fellow comedians in that country, and then you ask them for advice. People like to, I don't know why people like to be bossy and, you know,
I'm big.
No, that in comedy that doesn't work. Even if you're the biggest comedian in the world, and then you come to Uganda, it is best to find Ugandan comedians and ask them, okay, so how is the audience in Kampala? How do you approach them? Because we have had comedians who have come to Kampala and have had a very bad show. I think he's a big guy. You see him on Netflix, wherever. But then he comes to Kampala and he has a bad show. But it's simply because of that ego. You don't lose anything by asking advice from anyone. You know, for me, I believe everyone can give you something. Whether it's a person who has just joined the industry or somebody who has been in the industry for 50 years. Everyone can add something. But when you go to a new environment, like maybe let's say South Sudan, because I've been there also a number of times, you find friends who are there. The person who has brought you, the organizer, you sit down, you're like, okay, so what is happening in the country? What can we talk about? Gamba, so and so did this. This is trending. This is happening. You're like, okay, what are the common phrases that you use here? Said, we say this when we're greeting people. You know, said, okay, who are the popular socialites in the country, say so and so. So as you're writing your material, you incorporate that so that it feels, even the audience feels like you put in work to actually put in effort to entertain them, you know. So that is very important. So as much as you may have jokes that are pre-written, then you have to adjust certain things. So if in my joke there's a joke I did in Rwanda Kigali.
About the mosquito?
That one is different. There's one I did in Rwanda Kigali and also in Juba, South Sudan. In Kigali I used the name what's the name of that guy? I've forgotten his name. They gave me Gatoya. Because I was doing the joke about school and students and what. So I asked a friend of mine, what's a common name that I can use in Kigali? He said, Gatoya. So I used Gatoya in the joke and people loved the joke. When I went to Juba, I asked the guy, give me a good name here, you know. So he also gave me a name. I also used it. I used it in the joke, and people understand it. And sometimes you'll mention something, and someone is like, you are the one who they're talking about.
And someone will ask himself,
someone connects. How did he? Yes, but it's because you talk to the people, and then they told you add this will work, you know, and then your presentation is much more relatable. Kugamba chiri, among my attributes, I would like to be as relatable as possible. So you don't want to feel like you are not connected to the audience. You and them, you went through the same thing.
I was here on the same show with Patrick Salvador, and I was asking Patrick Salvador, among all his international shows he has done, I was asking him, what's the craziest audience you've got in a certain country? And he told me Nigeria. And when it comes to you, you've traveled so many countries. What I know, many countries have loved your jokes. I've seen it run. I've seen in Rwanda, I've seen in Kenya, I've seen in Zambia, many. But what's that country you're always there and you're like, I really want to go back because I was amazed by the audience. I went off stage and I felt like if I'm given a chance to go back, I can go back.
I can go back again. I think for me, right now, because I've mostly done East Africa, as much as this year I would like to travel more. But I think South Sudan is a very good audience for me.
Sure.
One because we are very close as far as Uganda and South Sudan is, because we share a lot of we share names. There are Luos also in South Sudan. So I have a lot of people come through and we actually speak Luo. Like, Okello Kobango, I said, we are here to support. So they're like brothers. So, and every time I've been there, I've had a wonderful time on stage. But also similar, I would say similarly for Kigali, because Rwanda, I've been there a couple of times, very many times, and the audience have grown to build an audience there. So that was amazing.
What was your first international gig that amazed you in terms of in terms of the check? And you're like, Okello. It's me now, Okello, that can earn this money. That one first gig, I'm always asking those people that have traveled internationally. I asked this to Eddie Kenzo, I asked this Kansime, I asked this question, I asked it Salvador. Those Ugandans that have really traveled. What is that one check that amazed you? And you're like, now I think I know my worth.
I think the first biggest check I ever got was in Kigali, Rwanda. I just got a random DM on social media, and that's what I was telling you about branding. Somebody just inboxed me on everywhere. This lady was looking for me everywhere. I think on X, Instagram, sent me even a WhatsApp, because my contact is on all my platforms. I was like, hi, I'm so and so. I'd like to invite you to an event. We have this event happening in the city. Would you mind coming? Blah blah blah. How much would you charge? You know. And then out of nowhere, you just tell her $3,000. And then she's like, it's okay. So how do we proceed? I said, how do we proceed? I said, okay, let us proceed. So something like that. But at the time, you feel it is a lot of money. You know, because you've never received such money as a lump sum. But that is something that leaves you thinking, if I put in more effort, I will even get further than here. So I think step by step, I did to charity, because now Nigeria is one place I really want to go to. I've been invited very many times. So it's one place I definitely am planning to go to, because in entertainment in Africa, if you have not yet done Nigeria, you have not yet done South Africa, I think you have not yet touched entertainment in Africa.
I've seen Patrick Salvador's show that is coming up, and I saw Africa Laughs, that's going to happen at Serena. I saw your name. You're going to perform?
Yeah, I'm on the lineup.
You're in the lineup. I saw it, and I was like, wow.
It's
how does it feel like being on Patrick Salvador's lineup?
It's a blessing, because first of all, this is a person I look up to. This is someone who I've tried to walk in his footsteps. I've learned a lot from him. He has given me a lot of opportunities. So every time he puts me on that platform, it's a sign of trust. You know, because that's a strong platform. When you go line up, there's Info Pops from South Africa, Celeste Ntuli, Q Dube. These are people who are genuinely funny. These are people who will step on stage and they leave it when everyone is on their feet. You know, so for me, it's an honor. And I think it's going to be a sold-out show. Africa Laughs. So I can't wait. I think it's going to be... I'm
going to be there.
You should,
because I saw Salvador. I'm supposed to be on the media team.
Yeah,
because the show is really well organized. Another question would be, in Uganda, people have already said, English comedians don't sell, English comedians don't make money, English comedians... We don't really feel them. I think you've had so many of that. But I'm like, people like Salvador and Kansime have done it. I'll ask you about two people. First, what does the name Patrick Salvador mean to the Ugandan English stand-up comedians?
I think...
And you guys that are coming up, how, like, Salvador, how do I really phrase it? Salvador,
I think he's, for me, the way I look at Salvador, especially in the stand-up comedy space in Uganda, is someone who is a reflection of what you can be if you put in the time and effort. And I think that's a good thing to have in the industry. Because if there's a young person who wants to join stand-up comedy, the first thing you look for is, which people are there? So when you see someone who has genuinely made it, they're successful, they have traveled the world, they have represented the country, then you tell yourself, if he can do it, I can do it. Similarly, it's like a young athlete who wants to run. wants to run for the country, if you're in maybe P7 or P6 and you're in those school competitions, the person you look at is Cheptegei. You'll see Cheptegei, you're like, man, if that guy can make it, I can also make it. So it's good to have such people because they are an epitome. They're an example of what can be if you put effort and discipline. So for me, is the face of Ugandan industry in stand-up, especially all over the world. He has performed in so many countries, and I think that's good because it puts us in a space where people fear Ugandans when it comes to stand-up because they know we are good. Everywhere I've been to, people will tell you, hey, man, Ugandan comedians are good. But it's because of the people who have been there before us. When a person like Emma Napoleon, very funny guy. There's a show he did in Zambia, and my God, every time you go to Zambia, they tell you there's that guy called Emma. He's really good.
Napoleon.
So that is good because it puts the country in a space where before you come, they already know Ugandans are funny. As compared to you've had these things in news where they say the certain maybe nationality is no longer allowed or to come into this country because they are thieves, they are scammers. So you spoil the name for people. But if somebody comes in and they represent well, it's a good thing. So just know Ugandan stand-up comedians are really good. It's just we have not had the big platforms, and it's our job to put ourselves on those spaces.
As someone who is coming up with a new style of comedy, you have the fresh comedy. You've worked with Anne Kansime.
Many
what
times.
have you learned with what have you learned working with Anne Kansime? Because she's very popular.
Yeah.
She's a star, and you've worked with her. What are some of the few things you've learned from Anne Kansime? It have really helped you.
Anne one teaches you how to love your craft because she really loves what she does. You'll be there laughing and joking, and then when it's time for business, she'll say, okay, now let us work. So that's the work ethic is there. Also, she's a really good businesswoman. So she will teach you business. She will tell you, Kati, she'll just call in a random day and tell you, Hilary, I like what you're doing, Kati, wano, Teresa mo, wano, change this and put this here. So she will advise you on many things. Even monetizing of platforms and the like, she can help you with all of that. So as a young comedian who is trying to push your brand out there, for me, I found it very, very advantageous to be next to her because I've learned a lot in the business sense, in the content sense. Ovaonga, you've seen what she can do, but also she has sort of given you the energy to move on. Because Anne was one of the first, my first show that I did at National Theatre, Anne bought like 4 tickets.
Hey.
Nenga, this is someone you're not very close with. Nena kugamba, Hilary, I like your comedy, let me come for your show. And she bought tickets and came for the show. If you watch the videos, she's in the audience. But now for me as a young person, that's encouraging. Because if somebody you look up to is also coming to attend your show, it means waro cholina. And then every time she meets you, she tells you, you're the next big thing. Just keep doing what you're doing. If you need any help, let me know.
Wow.
So that's and I'm very glad to have her as a friend.
I'm someone who follows your work. Of late, I've seen your Facebook. Every post you're making, views are coming, the likes are up there. Then YouTube, the same stuff. Twitter, the same stuff. TikTok, the same stuff. I know you've been into a situation where you're doing content and the views are not coming.
Yeah.
You go to Comedy Store, you do your craft, the views are up there. So, another question would be, you've ever been in a situation where you have your socials and they're really down?
Yeah.
Of late, I've been following you on your different social media platforms, and your TikTok is doing fine, your YouTube, your Facebook, your Twitter. I've seen so many content creators struggling with their own social media platforms.
Yes.
And then they are saying, others get frustrated. And they start saying, like you see Comedy Store, they use our content. And then when Alex says, okay, come I give you your content and you post. And then when you post, you don't get the same results as the ones you see on the Comedy Store platforms. You've performed on Comedy Store platforms for several times, and then you see the views are up there, and then on your platforms, the views are down. What have you done as a content creator?
Yeah.
To balance up your pages?
I think the first important thing is research. Uganda no yiga.
Do you have someone running your pages?
No, I run my pages myself.
All?
Yeah.
YouTube, Instagram, TikTok?
All my pages. Even the editing and what, I do it myself. So that's why I say you have to do research. You have to study something. If you want to be good at something, you have to study it. So you ask yourself, how do I build my pages? Then you go and do research. Then you know what the algorithm wants. You know that reels and videos perform better than photos. You know, so the more you learn, the more you practice. So then you double down and put effort in that. So you come up with a social media plan. You say, for me, every year that starts, I set a goal for the year. Last year I had about, I think by the end of last year, I think I had like 20,000 or 30,000 subs on YouTube. And I set a goal of this year of 50K. And I surpassed 50K like a month ago. So now midway, or I want the goal you had set, you have achieved it. So you set a new goal. So I said at the end of the year, I want 100K. So you push yourself like that. You see? It's the same thing with Facebook as well. Even TikTok, every year I set a goal of adding 200,000. So last year I had I think like 400,000. This year I'm in 600. So I'm pushing it to 700 before the year ends. But you know what brings the views and subs and follows is the content. So it means sit down and make the content. Work on the content, make the content good. When you have a show, make sure the camera crew is good. Make sure you get good sound, you get good light, you get good everything. Because that is what translates to content, which translates to followers and subs. So once you break it down like that, as far as you want to go, then it helps you know where to put effort in. So you make the jokes good, because if the joke is good, it means people will like and follow. Then also one important thing, because I listen to a lot of podcasts and interviews and the like, and I've seen a lot of content creators who have done really good on social media when they're on podcasts and they're talking. There's a gentleman who talked about a call to action. When you call to action is when you put a post and then you just say, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. It seems light, but out of those million views, let's say that video, for me, every video I have, if you check my social media, every video I have has full videos on YouTube. Every video I have. Unless our video on social media that doesn't have full videos on YouTube, it means it's not somebody's just cut it and put it there. It's not my original placement. Because the reason you're doing that is you want people who want to watch the full show to go and look for it. So if I get a video on TikTok and it has 1 million views, I know out of those 1 million, even if I get 10,000 of them to cross over and say, okay, let us go to YouTube and we subscribe and follow. Chiyamba. And then you also research about how to build your YouTube and you realize shorts are the best way to build your sub.
Wano ku Hasi Beauty Parlor tuli bakafulumu kulabirira n'okuyoyota ensusu tukola facial ne tukupepeta ka face ne kawawera nga aka baby tusiba n'okola enviiri mu buli musono songa mu kukola pedicure ne manicure tuwekansa tusala enviiri mu buli musono ate bwe kituuka mu kukola makeup tetumanyiyo mulala tuli muyenga ku Tank Hill Road okulira na Italian supermarket mu basement essimu tuli ku noti 72 682 953 teweerabira saluni egenda okujjayo bulungi bwo n'ekitiibwa kyo ye Hasi Beauty Parlor, a world of beauty. Onoonye ekifo eky'omulembe w'oyinza okuwummulirako ate nga kisangibwa ku lubalama lw'ennyanja. Winslow Luxury Suites kino kye kifo ekikkakkamu eri gwe anoonya w'oyinza okubeerako okumala ennaku entonotono oba ekiseera ekigere ng'olinga ali ewuwo. Kino kye kifo kyokka tulina amayumba agalina accommodation ey'omulembe nga mulimu ebisenge ebiwerera ddala 2, sitting room, modern kitchen, dining, closet engazi obulungi, ssaako toilet n'ebinaabiro. Ebisenge byaffe birabika bulungi nnyo omuli ebitanda ebya queen ne king size. Ekiseera kyonna ky'omala ng'oli naffe tufuba okulaba nga tufuna kutaataganyizibwa kwonna anti tulina standby generator wifi ne dstv saako ne laundry services tulina n'emmotoka ez'omulembe okwanguyizako mu by'entambula era nga tusobola okupikinga okuva wonna wooli ne ku kisaawe erimu abava ebweru wa uganda. Winslow Luxury Suite tusangibwa mu Jomai Estate Garuga Entebbe n'olwekyo gwe yandyagadde okumanya ebisingawo n'okubuukinga osobola tukubira ku noti 752 emu noti 8 nyemu oba osindika obubaka obwa whatsapp ku +9 noti 83 2 noti 3 6 noti 2.
Zino ze bayita batya?
Modern tile.
Onoonya tiles ez'omutindo nga mpangazi ezitasiiwuuka nga ne design yazo ya njawulo nnyo. Funa Modern Tiles.
Modern Tiles. Esimu kasya kano kankwanjulira emamiga gy'ekisi abakola emiramu education gadgets zonna mu Uganda balina tablets z'abaana zonna mu bikanga syamusanga Apple oligimo ate nga balina n'esiina keyboard balina ebimotoka by'abaana ebimundu essaawa bagisi z'abaana bottles container ng'ogasseko ne building blocks balina headsets z'abaana balina smart watch zonna ate nga ziri oligino balina wireless charger ate nga basisinkanibwa wali ku Pioneer Mall edduka li PA11 ate ng'osobola bakubira ku 0703696904 gambye ekikwasagana education gadgets zonna oyina kwekwata mami gadgets kubanga yasinga.